quick story here. It's going to go like this, then like this, then like this, then like this. See if you can stay with me. We got a lot of stuff going on right now in the news, right? We're getting bombarded, man. People are trying hard to scramble because it gets ratings, it gets views, it gets followers. Hey, man, stuff's trending. Got to jump on it. Now, look, there's people in our community. Their head's in the right spot. I dig it. I've shared many statistics with you guys over the years on gun violence, gun-related violence versus other types of violence. Violence is violence, but when I'm talking gun violence, I'm saying violence where guns are the tool being used by the criminal, by the evildoer. I'm not going to talk to you about that because we agree that guns are not the problem, right? I'm not going to waste the energy. I'm not going to talk to you about the stats of how opioid addiction kills more people, how car crashes, how alcohol, how cancer, how sugar all kill way more people than guns every day, right? We know that stuff. I'm not going to talk to you about how the media is brainwashing us because you choose what to listen to. Nobody's forcing you to watch this right now. I'm not going to talk to you about it, and I've said this for years, especially in my political career. Media is business, and there's nothing wrong with that. They sell stories. We consume those stories. Advertisers pay for our eyes and ears. Done. Once you know that, it's pretty easy. Nobody tells you to put CNN or Fox News on in the background 24 hours a day like so many people do. Nobody tells you what podcasts to listen to. Nobody tells you when you go to the grocery store, do they? They don't handcuff you to the cart and walk around and somebody fills the cart. You get to choose. You go to a restaurant and they put that menu in front of you. Somebody doesn't lean over, your shoulder and point to something on the menu and say, that's what you're eating. You get to choose. Maybe it's social media. Maybe that's to blame. Maybe it's all the video games our kids play. Because I know in my house, the government sends the video games here, and the government pays my electric bill and internet bill, and they bought my kids the video games and the TV and the headsets, and I have no control over it. Of course, that's bullshit. We buy our children those things, right? We, the people, do. We are the ones that are allowing that to happen. If you believe that that's a problem, not even from the violence standpoint, but how about the disconnect where we no longer communicate face to face? I'm not going to talk about that, though, because that's not the problem either. How about things like maybe the government's to blame because they're not making the right laws? Maybe that's the problem. Maybe they need to do a better job. We'll come back to that. How about NRA? Maybe they're to blame. Maybe NRA's brainwashed too many people and pulled too many funny strings. Maybe it's Gun Owners of America. Maybe it's the lobbyists for the other side. Maybe it's the lobbyists on our side. No, I don't think so. We choose what to consume. We choose what to follow. We choose where to give our attention. You know, back in the day, we used to think, man, things were better. Our parents thought it, our grandparents thought it, our great-grandparents thought it, so on and so forth. Because it's fun. From a psychological level, it feels nice to remember warm, fuzzy feelings of bygone days. But guess what? Women being subjugated because of their sex, not being able to vote, own property, things of that nature, that's not the good old days. Being darker skin, more melanin in your skin, gets you enslaved, or at the very least gets you treated differently. That's not a government problem, though. That's not government's problem. That's your fucking problem. That's my problem. That's not government's problem. My parents didn't raise me to be filled with hate for anybody. I don't know what your parents raised you to do, and I don't know what you're raising your kids to do, but that's a big issue. Who's telling you? Who's telling you how to raise your kids? Nobody. You get to choose. You choose what you feed them, what they watch, what they hear, what they eat, how they play, what they read. You choose. And when they get old enough, maybe you did a good enough job, they'll take some of that on with them. I don't care what sexual persuasion you are, what God you worship, what color you are. You dig? I judge men by what's in their hearts. Are we teaching our kids that? I don't think we are. I don't think that we are. I don't think, and this is not a governmental problem, nor is it a white people problem, because the white people I grew up around don't hate anybody. That's bullshit. I'm sick of being told by people I should apologize because I'm white. I shall not. I shall not. My ancestors were in frickin' Ireland at the time that this country came to be. Guess what? There was a lot of Irish people enslaved. Yeah, not just here treated like shit. The Romans, I don't know if you guys remember this, kind of came to the little island called Great Britain and took it over. There's a lot of history people don't remember or don't want to because it doesn't fit their thought process or their narrative. I'm sick of it. You know what else I'm sick of? I'm sick of people blaming organizations, government entities, politicians, when in reality, they should be looking in a mirror and blaming themselves. Nobody owes you shit. I don't. Government doesn't. Your neighbor doesn't. You know what? The preamble to our Constitution said what? We the people, in order to form a more perfect union. Notice that when they wrote that, they didn't say we the people are about to form the perfect union. They knew that this will take time. It will evolve. It needs to grow. It will need to be massaged. And every one of those men that wrote that understood acutely that it could be stripped apart, broken down, and taken right back to nothing without constant care. And that is the problem that we have. We have given up our power. I am tired of people telling me they're conspiracy theories when there is no conspiracy. It is apathy. There is no conspiracy. It is laziness. What have you done to protect, promote, and proliferate liberty? Tell me that you served in the armed forces. That is wonderful, but that does not change legislation here. Tell me that you have done great things for your community. What are you doing to raise your children so that they continue on in their life to protect, promote, and proliferate liberty and freedom? What are you doing? What actions, what deeds have you injected into the world, even if it's just kindness, that changes something around you? I am sick of people blaming all kinds of issues when at the heart of the matter, it is what's in your heart and what's in mine. I don't look to government to fix anything because they can't. Why can't they? Because it's just a bunch of dudes that don't know anything better than you or I. Think about that. Government is made up of people no smarter or stronger or sharper than you and I. If you want to run, I'll help you. If you got something that you think is going to make a difference, I'll help you. There were 56 men that sat down and put pen to paper with the Declaration. They signed their name. People look at that in high regard and they think they were all these amazing people. Some of them held slaves. Some of them were ne'er-do-wells later in life. Some of them didn't pay their bills. Some of them had some pretty interesting ideas about what it meant to be a citizen in a country. Not perfect people, but it was a group of people that collided around a common goal that was this nation, the greatest nation that has ever come to be. I hear people talk about other places. Go to those other places. Visit there. Spend some time there and tell me, okay? If you have that notion, you haven't been to many places. If you think that there's a bunch of spots in the world better than here, you're wrong. I'm not going to talk to you about any of that shit, though. What I will finish with is this. What are you willing to do? What action will you take? Not just to stop gun legislation, but to make the world better. What will you do so that when you are dead and gone, there will be some deed you are remembered for? Not for pious reasons, not for medals, not for honor, but to be remembered because it left something good. What will you do? Will you just continue to type on Instagram and Facebook? Will you continue to talk about the impending civil war? Why not walk outside and just sit down and throw your hands in the air and lay down and let nature consume you, if that is your attitude? What will you do? If not you, then who? If not us, then who? If we the people no longer can continue to perfect this union, who shall do it in our stead? No one. That's who. No one.